cataloged before streaming, before TikTok, before Amazon could deliver your 4Ks in 2 days or less. There was a place where dreams were contained in DVD cases and Blu-rays lived in wire bins next to the tube socks and expired beef jerky. What was that place? It was Kmart, the kingdom of chaos, plastic bins and bargain bin Miramax movies that you didn't know you needed to buy. You could dive into that bargain bin and find such physical media gold as Children of the Corn 7, Hellraiser Deader, and maybe those Miramax Halloween films. So in this video, we talk about Kmart. Maybe we'll call it Bargains, Blu-rays, and the Blue Light Specials, the glorious madness of Kmart physical media. What are we waiting for? Let's go. The blue light, you turned it on, we came. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm JeffMan316, your pop culture reporter. Like it says on the sign there, JeffMan316. Live is where you and I join here, usually Sunday nights around 9 p.m. Eastern, and watch along to a movie, talk about physical media, talk about anything you guys want, like the good old days, the nostalgia of Kmart. Yeah, do you remember Kmart? Kmart was once a major U.S. discount department store chain. It was known for offering a wide range of low-priced goods, including home video media like DVDs and Blu-rays. While the chain didn't really specialize in new releases, so to speak, it was part of a retail network that sold physical media from distributors such as Miramax, especially in the 2000s. There's a general outline of the Kmart history in relation to these Miramax DVDs and bargain bin Blu-rays. Like these, I'll give you some examples. You could find such titles as Teaching Mrs. Tingle, and this is kind of like pretty rare now. A lot of the ones that have this first time on Blu-ray are usually single disc releases, and they didn't have a lot of special features. Like this one doesn't really have anything at all. So, but either way, they're released mostly by Echo Bridge, and they licensed Miramax titles. We'll talk more about that later. Look, I got another one here. It's a 4-pack. Yeah, they crammed all this Hellraiser goodness on one disc. You get Hellraiser Bloodline, Hellraiser Inferno, Hellraiser Hellseeker, and Hellraiser Hellworld. There's one movie missing there, but why is it still sealed? Well, that's a story for another day. Yeah, most of those were Miramax films, especially the two that I just showed you. Miramax was founded by Harvey and Bob Weinstein, you know, infamously. Throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, Miramax distributed films through Buena Vista Home Entertainment. That was a Disney subsidiary. It handled all of its DVD and VHS releases back then. Now, after the Weinsteins left and they sold Miramax to Disney, and later when Miramax was sold to a private investor, the home video rights were often licensed to cheap companies like Lionsgate or Echo Bridge Home Entertainment, who focused heavily on bargain bin distribution. That's where Kmart comes in. Yeah, Kmart had video sales back in 1990s, early 2000s. They sold full-price home videos, DVDs, VHS, such titles as Good Will Hunting, The English Patient, anything else under the Miramax umbrella. And in the mid-2000s, as DVD prices fell and Blu-rays emerged, Kmart became a key location for low-priced DVDs and Blu-rays. They had Miramax titles like Crow City of Angels, Hellraiser 3, and the Prophecy series. Other lesser-known Miramax horror and action titles as well. These were often sold in multi-packs, budget lines, or single-disc editions with minimal features like I showed you there. So why were these bargain bin versions in Kmart? Well, after Miramax sold to Disney, like I said, the licensing was fragmented. Echo Bridge picked up a lot of the distribution rights for these Miramax titles. They repackaged them, no frills, budget-friendly editions. They showed up in Kmart, sometimes Big Lots, sometimes in Walmart, usually under $10. But there was a big decline for Kmart, especially in the late 2010s. Kmart began closing stores rapidly. But like I said, Miramax titles back in the day were very easy to find in that bargain bin. Back there in the back of the store, like you said, right next to the men's clothes on one side and housewares on the other, I would find wrestling DVDs sometimes, but a lot of these cheap-ass Blu-rays. Now, like I said, some of the individual releases, They're worth a lot of money now. This one and others. They're hard to find, and they haven't been released on DVD or Blu-ray since. Multi-packs were the thing. You get 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 movies, sometimes even more if it was a DVD set. They'd cram it all on there, this multi-feature banner up at the top, and you'd get all this from Miramax goodness, usually from Echo Bridge or Lionsgate. And I give you an example, 2 examples of that. This Miramax title, this individual one, was Echo Bridge. You see that at the bottom. Now, Echo Bridge, most recently, was the one stocking a lot of titles in the Dollar Tree. So they've been famous for bargain bin titles. And in this case, this multi-feature set was Lionsgate, if you see that at the bottom. So I just wanted to go back, some nostalgia and like reminisce about the Kmart blue light specials. I used to buy a lot of their exclusive WWE figures there. Sometimes, like I said earlier, I would randomly find WWE DVDs, but I found these bargain titles, and I just wanted to reminisce a little bit about that with you guys. So back in the day, did you go in Kmart? Did you have a bargain bin in the back? It was in a round bin. It was similar to the one you sometimes see in Walmart, especially like the Walmarts you see in my movie hunts that I post weekly. Now, a lot of these individual titles here were probably around $3.99 to sometimes $5.99, and a lot of these were a little more, the multi-movie sets. Those were probably like $7.99 to $9.99. And then they did have some really rare titles, including some movies in the Hellraiser series. Now, I was thinking about that, and instead of cramming all that into this one video, this was just to have a fun, nostalgic look back at Kmart. I miss Kmart. I know Big Lots, they're opening up randomly some stores with some physical media in it, none near me, but Kmart disappeared, and so did a lot of this bargain bin physical media until stores like Big Lots had it. So then, man, all of that stuff has phased out over the years. So I told you guys I wanted to do a nostalgia video, a nostalgic look back maybe at the last dying days of the Dollar Tree hunts, because I found some footage there, so I still might do that. But I was cleaning up some titles, and I started to think about these Hellraiser movies. I just wanted to ask you guys, do you remember the bargain bin days of Kmart, Echo Bridge titles, and Lionsgate titles? Oh my. Yeah, it was the fun days of physical media collecting. It went from Kmart and Walmart. Then these are the bargain titles. I'm not talking about Best Buy or whatever, bargain titles. And then all of that kind of shifted to Big Lots. And then some Big Lots started shifting stuff to Dollar Trees. And now all of that's closed. So you got to go to like Hamilton Book Online. You can obviously go to flea markets. You can go to thrift stores and stuff like that. But these were brand new sealed movies that you were able to find $10 or less, and sometimes $5 or less. All the good old days. So this was just to reminisce about that. But put in the comments down below, what do you remember about buying physical media at Kmart? Which titles did you buy? Do you have any of the really rare ones? And I'm going to cover some of those that I've picked up, especially from the Hellraiser series. Not that one, this one. I'll leave that in there. I'm going to cover that in a separate video, so you might know some of those titles that are rare. They could be on your shelf right now and you didn't even know it, and you probably paid $10 or less for them back in the day. So hopefully you like this video to reminisce about Kmart. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that normal YouTube stuff. I love you guys. Keep supporting me, and I'll keep making great content. Hopefully you guys, like I said, you are a subscriber. If you are, hit the notification bell. You'll know when I post new videos or when I go live, like I said on the sign, JeffMan316 Live. So I really appreciate you guys. And until next time, boys and girls, when we take a nostalgic look again down memory lane about physical media, this has been JeffMan316, your pop culture reporter, and I'm signing out saying you guys be safe out there.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
I just shipped my drawers.